Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, obviously, I'm back. They let me back in with no issues at this time, and I'm glad. I've been gone for about 12 days. I had a little mission I had to accomplish, which everything was just fine. I traveled, saw things, met people, solved issues. Now I'm back because we can't let these idiots tell us what reality is when they actually have interests and working for agencies and blah, 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 tra la la. So what's going on here? These idiots are going to draw us in a deep doo-doo, and they're going to push it as much as they can until Russia will tell them, draw, a line in the sand and tell them beyond this one is going to be this kind of war. And it seems like the Russians are getting there little by little. And if these guys are keep pushing it, the Russians will not back up or back down. I think that's the way you say it. So what happened? Putin had a little interview, and in interview says that Russia is ready for a nuclear war. And that's the first one. And the second one warns the West, don't send troops to Ukraine, because I have here 3 articles to discuss with you. Let's start with the first one, coming from Reuters. These are from March 13th. Putin says Russia is technically ready for nuclear war. The same stance. Okay. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Wednesday that Russia was technically ready for nuclear war, the latest in a series of warnings he has delivered to the West in the 2 years since he launched his invasion of Ukraine. Blah, 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 tra la la. Asked in an interview if Russia is really ready for a nuclear war, Putin says, and I'm quoting, "From a military technical point of view, we are, of course, ready." End quote. He added, however, that he sees no rush towards nuclear confrontation and that Russia has never faced a need to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine. All right, so this is, again, here we have Putin says Russia is ready to use nuclear weapons if its sovereignty is threatened. So they still follow their strategy or, the protocol of using nuclear weapons, which is clear, and it seems like they did not deviate from that. Next article. CBS, we have it again from March 13th. Putin warns again that Russia is ready to use nuclear weapons if its sovereignty is threatened. We got that already. And of course, another blunt warning to the West. Yeah, if my sovereignty is going to be threatened, I'm going to do that. What's so hard to understand that? So blunt warning, yes. And they don't have the first strike, So unlike the Americans who have the, I think, first strike protocol, which is they can strike with nuclear weapons if they feel they're threatened or something like that. Look who's more reliable and who's not. All right, let's move to the third article, CBS News. Putin again threatens to use nuclear weapons. You see how it's twisted? Yeah, threatens. Yeah, if you're going to kill me, I will not allow that to happen. Oh, he threatens me. Okay. Claims Russia's arsenal much more advanced than America's. So Vladimir Putin said Wednesday that Russia's nuclear triad, its 3-pronged arsenal of weapons launched from land, sea, and air, was much more advanced than of the United States. And I'm quoting, "Our triad, the nuclear triad, is more modern than any other triad. Only we and the Americans actually have such triads, and we have advanced much more here." We have advanced. Putin said in an interview on state TV. Putin said Moscow's nuclear weapons are fully ready, and from the military technical viewpoint, we're prepared to use them in case there's a threat to the existence of the Russian state, our sovereignty and independence, end quote, according to the Associated Press. So the Kremlin has touted Russia's nuclear prowess. Well, what are you going to do here? The second issue is Putin says NATO troops in Ukraine would not change the situation. So In the same interview, Putin said Western countries sending troops to Ukraine wouldn't change the situation on the battlefield. Interestingly enough, he's not talking about nuclear weapons if these guys send troops. Very important. In the same interview, Putin said Western countries sending troops to Ukraine wouldn't change the situation. And I'm quoting, if we talk about official military contingents of foreign countries, official, I'm sure it will not change the situation on the battlefield. That is the most important thing. Just as supplying arms does not change anything, Putin said. All right, well, you have to portray that kind of certainty, right? His comments came after French leader Emmanuel Macron last month declined to rule out putting boots on the ground, a significant shift in the rhetoric as Ukraine struggles on the battlefield. Well, 2 points. According to Putin, that would not change the outcome. And the second one, if we are, our sovereignty is threatened, then we will use nuclear weapons. It's kind of a little contradiction, I would say here, or at least if you're so certain that their troops will not influence war, why are you talking about using nuclear weapons if your sovereignty and independence is threatened? It's just a reminder. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, it's like I'm fighting and I'm saying, well, I'm going to kick this guy's butt with no problems. And then I say, but if he beats me, I'm going to use this. Well, didn't you say that nothing changes? So probably he's, telling a little a nuanced warning that if you guys are upping the game, we're going to up our game. And be careful. I don't think these guys will get it. I mean, I think they got it, actually. Will not get the... they keep pushing, basically. They keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And that's going to affect not only the Russians, the Ukrainians, but us as well. Because they're just fine. Imagine a person who has a full room of resources and you have just a candy as a resource. And then tomorrow, all the stores will be closed for, 3 months. With your candy, with your little bar, you're going to finish it in 1 or 2 or 3 days if you are, disciplined. But the guy with a full room of resources can outlive you. The same thing is with the resources and us. The resources, the elites, click, and us. They have the resources to survive. We can be starving. We can be, just being outside, selling our properties and so on because high taxes and paying for gas, fuel, and electricity and so on. But they have the resources. We are the ones that are going to be, unless these guys are going to do, or we are not going to do something to make sure that we get into their rooms and get their resources at that point. And they will stop us before we get to that point. They will probably make sure that the repressive apparatus of a country, of a society, is well fed. So that means the guys who can hit us in the head for trying to get their resources will also have enough resources so they will not feel threatened. You always do this. Why do you think that people from certain intelligence communities and people that would help them as a buffer between them and us are well paid? First, so the corruption cannot be rampant. That's the first one. Or just decide to switch sides. That's the reason why. Remember, when these guys were caught spying for Soviet Union, the first question, why did you do it? They said, because I wasn't recognized, I wasn't paid enough. Was the financial. They thought that they were insulted in the society and financially. Therefore, they have a lot of money, so they make sure when they receive the order, they will smack us with no problem. So here it is, my friends. Nothing changed here. I would have expected, personally, that Putin would say, well, if you send over there those guys, we're going to think of something else. Maybe these things are related. We're going to use nuclear weapons and we're ready if our sovereignty is threatened. That means if you send too much, we're going to lose. He said, no, it's not going to change anything. So it's kind of like, let's make it separate and equal. The first one is if you send over their troops, they're not going to change. I don't know what he has in mind. And the second one, we're ready, so don't worry. All right, I think it's important that Putin again said that. These guys, I think they know it, and they're going to push, push, push. And I don't know if they're going to cross that line in the sand, but I suspect they will. And until Putin really does something crazy, these guys will not back off. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.